Is it possible to fly cross-country when the cloud base is just above the takeoff at 900 meters? Welcome to the Paragliding XC Stories. In this story, we'll explore my 85 kilometers cross-country flight with a very low cloud base. We take off in Bassano del Grappa, follow the foggy green hills and return to the landing site. If you have any questions about this flight or flying with a low cloud base, don't hesitate to ask them in my Telegram group. You will find the link in the video description. So buckle up, we're taking off. The first thing to do after takeoff is to assess the conditions. Are the thermals working well? What does the air feel like? Today the thermals are weak, so I spend some time near the takeoff. After reaching cloud base, we make the first small crossing and check the air further east. Here I can feel that despite the weak thermals, the air is quite unstable, so the lift is reliable. It's hard to tell where the clouds start, because the air is really humid. Sometimes it looks like I'm flying in the clouds, especially since there are no defined cloud edges. Following the standard Bassano route to the east is easy, and I'm even able to climb above the cloud base. So I have to fly around the clouds. Another great experience is flying over a cloud. Nice! Using weak lift requires patience, but today it works really well every time. Here in the east, over this flat ridge, the cloud base is usually lower than anywhere else, but today it's the opposite. This ridge provides great lift and marks the thermals with well-defined clouds. At the antenna here, after reaching cloud base, I even decide to fly a little further east because the conditions are so nice here. Flying back over the ridge is very easy. I found a lovely thermal and use it, as it seemed to be a bit stronger than the ones to the west. Flying back to the takeoff is really fast, and I don't have to spend much time thermaling. You see, even at 600 meters you are quite safe in Bassano, so no need to worry. Note that this thermal doesn't crawl up the slope, but rises slightly away from it. This is quite common, so if you don't find anything directly at the slope, try looking a bit away from it. 2 hours later, the cloud base is 100 meters higher here above the takeoff. But sometimes there are areas where you can climb above the cloud base, and I use this to get some more height for the Brenta Valley crossing. The crossing goes well, and I skip the first thermal as usual. The slope in front of me should give me enough height to get to Rubbio, but I'm too optimistic and don't get enough slope lift. Here I have to decide whether to risk flying into this area or to get back to the slope. I'm not sure about possible power lines, so I decide to go back. I have to fly the whole slope back to get a thermal and climb. I'm 100 meters higher than the first time, so it's safe for the second attempt. It works, but the Rubbio hill is a bit weak this time, so I have to search and be patient. Let's keep flying towards La Verda. Again, patience is needed as the thermals are a bit difficult to core. But finally, I climb high enough and move on. It looks like this whole area is a bit more stable, because the lift isn't working well. Even Louisiana, despite a huge cloud above it, doesn't provide the next stepping stone. Together with my friend, I have to look for thermals over the hills. There is not much height left, so it's important to concentrate. Finally, a reliable thermal, and the flight is saved. Let's go west. Caltrano works well, but I decide not to cross to Monte Sumano this time, because the forecast predicted a rather early stop of thermal activity, and the cloud base is quite low for the crossing anyway. Instead, I fly along the ridge and try to avoid clouds as much as possible. The western turn point is set. Let's get back to the takeoff. As usual, flying back is quick and easy. We also have to be quick because the sun is starting to get completely covered in the west. The Rubio Hill is now in the shade, so I have to get some altitude at the ridge here. But the thermals are not strong enough, so this takes time. As I slowly climb, I notice that the sun is back at Rubio, so let's continue. Now the sun is completely gone, so I patiently use the good climb above Rubio to get to cloud base. From here I can reach the landing field for sure, but I want to get a few more kilometers out of this flight. So I climb in every thermal I find along the way. I hit a climb just above the valley, which gives me a few more meters. Without the sun, the slopes can barely keep me up, but I'm still hoping to catch some lift. So the slopes don't work anymore. Let's try the flatlands. Yes, I spot a gaggle climbing over the flatlands and join them just above Simonzo. cloud base is a bit higher now, and I noticed some clouds above the slopes. Let's try them. Unfortunately, the lift is just too weak, but I see a cloud in the flat again, and I can gain a few hundred meters. The hills still don't work, so I use the Flatlands thermal again for the last climb of my flight and glide out to extend my triangle. That's it. You see, even when the cloud base is quite low and the forecast is not so good, you can still fly some interesting and challenging routes. Don't give up too early and use such days for training in difficult conditions. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next story.